Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be an extremely exciting one for me. This is a video I've been working on for a very long time, and it has taken me quite a while to kind of splice together all the pieces I needed to do this topic justice. So today I am going to be directly comparing Glossier Boy Brow to two affordable alternatives to that tinted brow gel that is so popular today. Glossier was really one of the first brands that I feel like really became popular for their tinted brow gel. And since then, other brands have kind of come out with mimic or dupe products that are supposed to do the same thing as Glossier Boy Brow. Today, I'm going to be comparing two of my favorite alternatives to Glossier Boy Brow so that you can see whether or not you think it's worth investing in the full-priced item or if it might be worth it to save some cash. Now, naturally, I have pretty thick, fluffy eyebrows, as you can see, and I wanted to make sure that this comparison was useful for people with brows that are different than mine as well. So throughout this video, you're going to be seeing clips of me using these three brow products, but you'll also be seeing clips and the thoughts of my future sister-in-law, Robin. She has very different eyebrows than me, so I think it'll be helpful to kind of see the differences on someone with brows like mine and someone with kind of thinner, more blonde brows as well. And now let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so I'm not gonna bury the lead too much. I know that if you're just here to find out what two products I'm testing out, it's probably annoying to kind of have to wait until we're halfway through the video to find out. So I'm just gonna tell you right up front. The first is the Glossier Boy Brow, and I have the shade Blonde. The Boy Brow retails for $16, and it comes with 0.11 ounces of product. The first alternative that I'm talking about today is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. This retails for $4. I have the shade Taupe, and it is 0.12 fluid ounces. And then last up, I have the second alternative here, the Essence Make Me Brow, and this retails for $2.99. I have the shade 01 Blondie Brows, and it contains 0.12 fluid ounces. So more or less, they all contain the same amount of product. I would say that, technically Glossier is less than the other two at 0.11 fluid ounces, but I just don't know that you would notice the difference in the amount of product if you're using these, on a daily basis. However, that price point is worth noting, and that's what inspired this whole video. So the Glossier is $16, which is 4 times the amount of the e.l.f. product and more than 5 times the price of the Essence. So again, the e.l.f. is $4, so a quarter of the price, and the Essence is $2.99, which is like a fifth of the price. So I wanted to put these to the test and see if it is actually worth investing in the original, the OG, the Glossier Boy Brow, or if maybe that product has been replaced in the market by more affordable options. So this video may feel a bit disjointed because we're gonna bounce back and forth between a few different clips of me applying and talking through my thoughts on these different products. And intermixed with all of those videos of me, you'll also be seeing video clips from my future sister-in-law, Robin, who helped me out with this video because she has a very different eyebrow kind of shape and color than I do. She has loved the Glossier Boy Brow for years now, so I really wanted to get her opinion on these products. And I wanted both perspectives. I wanted my perspective with kind of full bushy brows and who had started with the more affordable options first in my collection. And I wanted the perspective of someone like Robin who needs a little bit more hold and a little bit more of the fiber aspect of these products to fill in her brows, as well as the fact that she had a lot of experience with Glossier Boy Brow. So for the kind of demo portion of this, I'm going to be comparing the e.l.f. Wow Brow to the Glossier Boy Brow. I'll then also insert a clip in natural light of these two side by side. After that, I'm going to jump to Robin's video that will be comparing the exact same two products. After Robin, we will loop back to me on a different day, different makeup look, where I'm wearing the Essence on one side and the Glossier on the other. And after my version of that video, we'll see Robin's version of that comparison as well with the Essence versus the Glossier. I'll do a recap at the end once we're kind of through all of the different little clips. So I hope that that recap will be useful as well. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of fast forward through me actually applying these, but I wanted to show you how I typically use these products in my brows, just in case you're curious. My method for all three of these products is identical. First things first, I go through with a clean spoolie that I just use to brush my brows up to kind of get the shape I want laid out. Then going in on this side with the e.l.f. Wow Brow, I just brush through my brows. And now on this side, the Glossier Boy Brow. So now that you've seen how I apply them, I'll go ahead and cut to this exact look in natural light so that you can kind of see the difference between these two. Okay, so here we are in natural light. On this side, I have the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and on this side, I have Glossier Boy Brow. So I will say, I can tell the difference a little bit better in natural light, and I can tell that the e.l.f. one is less of a strong hold. So it's definitely more like fluffy, feathery looking, whereas the Glossier looks much more like slicked down, kind of flat against my face because it's a stronger hold product. That's 100% like a preference thing, whether you prefer it to be kind of like flattened down or a little more fluffy. But that's kind of the only difference I see between these two. And I personally love both of those looks for different reasons. So I don't see like a good versus bad here, but just so you can see again, this is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And this is, I should show you the whole thing. This is the Glossier Boy Brow.
So on this side, I am wearing the Glossier Boy Brow. And this side, I am wearing e.l.f. Wow Brow. And I have really thin, wispy eyebrows to begin with. And definitely enjoy the color of the Boy Brow a lot more. It's a little bit darker, a little bit browner. And the hold is definitely a lot stiffer on the Boy Brow than on the Wow Brow. This has more of like a glossy application to it. And so they look pretty similar from afar, but definitely noticing a stronger hold for the Boy Brow.
Okay, so this side over here has the Essence Make Me Brow, and this side is Glossier Boy Brow. So in my kind of bushier brows, there's really not a huge difference. This eyebrow has like a couple patchy spots on it, but this one's a little more even, but that's not the fault of the product. That's just how my eyebrows naturally are, so disregard that. I will say that the Boy Brow kind of like got crispy quicker. So I'd say in my brows, they have about the same level of hold, but the Boy Brow, I had to work a little more quickly to get my brows into place before it dried down, whereas the Essence, I had a little bit more wiggle room before it dried down completely. So again, Essence on this side, Glossier on this side.
So on this side, I have Boy Brow by Glossier. And this side, I have the Essence Make Me Brow. I feel like I'm able to really fill in more with the Glossier. The hold is also much stronger on the Glossier side.
I want to talk through my favorite, Robin's favorite, and whether or not I think it makes sense to save your money or splurge on the Glossier. So first things first, you probably noticed in those video clips that in my brows, all three of them essentially look identical. I don't see a huge difference in my brows in like the shade, the tone of the blonde. I also don't feel a huge difference between the amount of hold that I'm getting from each of them. I will say that when comparing the Glossier and the e.l.f., you saw in my video that I think the e.l.f. holds just a little bit less, but the Essence holds equally as well. So I actually think that for some people, a little less hold, a little more flexibility in the brows is actually what they're going for. So if you've tried the Glossier or the Essence and they're too like firm and gluey for you, then maybe try the e.l.f. because I think that it's just a little bit more flexible. That being said, for the price difference, for my personal brows kind of already have quite a bit of pigment, they're pretty full, pretty fluffy. I feel like any of the three of these products does just as well as the other. I don't have a particular preference. I think probably in the future I'll purchase the e.l.f. or the Essence, just depending on, you know, what's available when I'm buying, just because to me the Glossier is not worth the $16. However, when you were watching Robin's clips, you probably noticed that she had a very, very, very different experience than I did. In her brows, you can see major differences between these three products, both in terms of how the color actually shows up in her brows, as well as, you know, she explains that they feel completely different to her when they dry down. So I do think it's worth mentioning here that different brow types are gonna have a really, really different experience. I am so glad that I asked Robin to help me out with this video, and I'm so glad she agreed, because I would have come on this video and given you my completely honest feedback of all three of these are the same. Why waste your money on the Glossier product when there are two very affordable and more accessible alternatives already on the market? But as soon as I saw Robin's videos, I realized how misleading my own video could have been had I not asked for that second opinion. And of course, that's the case with all makeup products, right? It's going to depend on your own features, your own preferences for makeup. It depends on so many different factors. But Robin's definitive response to me when she sent me her clips was, I was so glad to see that I haven't been wasting my money on like the Glossier product every time. You know, she was like, selfishly, I'm so glad that that is worth the money for me. And that makes me happy as well. I think that, you know, the goal here of my channel is not necessarily to promote one product or brand over another. I'm just trying to help people make an informed decision about what's going to be best for them. So I would just say, if you have brows similar to mine, any of the three products are essentially going to function the same, with the exception of the e.l.f., which I feel like has slightly more flexible hold rather than kind of the very strong hold that I think the Glossier and the Essence have. If you have brows more like Robin's, you might want to lean towards the Glossier. She clearly preferred that and thinks that it's worth every penny, because the two alternatives that I asked her to try out just didn't work for her particular brows. So I think that's the final verdict. These products are either going to be extremely similar or completely different depending on your own type of brows. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up, commenting down below to let me know what your favorite tinted brow gel is, and I would love to have you subscribe before you go today if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.